relationship with Kadir and Alim. What has that been like to have them be able to show the other guys what is the Will Wade way?
It's been awesome. When we took over at McNeese, it was all brand new. Obviously, Coach has done this now, I think, 3 or 4 times, where you're kind of learning the culture and learning how Coach does things. And to have guys like that who have done it before, seen it before, know how Coach is, knows what to expect, the day-to-day operations or how they go about things. They've been great in being a voice for us in the locker room and a voice for the players too. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, especially with how we do things, and they've been through it before. They've seen the road games, they've seen the practices. They know what to expect, whether it be offensively or defensively. So it's been great to have those two.
That first Friday session, I guess it was this past Friday now at this point. You guys call them road games. I mean, what is that like, and why is that done to the players? We'll say it that way.
Yeah, so Coach started that years ago, and I think the terminology behind it, I don't want to misspeak here, but my understanding of it is that being on the road, you're never given anything. You're not going to get, theoretically not going to get a great whistle, and you have to battle adversity, fight with your teammates. Things are going to be tough. Things are going to be difficult, and it's your ability to come together as a group, compete, and find a way to get it done. Everything we do in our program is highly competitive, highly competitive, and the road games are at the end of the week. We'll go road game at 6 o'clock in the morning, then we'll practice, and it kind of caps off the week. And so we'll have 2 teams or 3 teams, depending on how many players or whatever the assignment is, and it just builds that road environment. It builds us a different type of mentality, a different type of conditioning to be able to play on the road in the ACC, and at the Dukes, the Carolinas, the Louisvilles, all the heavy hitters in our league, and it starts. That process doesn't start when you get to ACC play. It starts in the summertime, first week of June.
You're able to keep Paul McNeil and Samika Wilkins, and then quickly added Matthew Abel. What has it been like with those 3 younger players and how they have adjusted?
We're still working on getting Mikey here. He's been finishing up his school, and obviously having Paul and Matt Abel here, it's been great. Paul has a big chance, a big opportunity this year to be a very big piece to the puzzle. Just with his size, length, athleticism, he can shoot the ball. He fits kind of the Coach Wade, mold of what he looks for in a player. You can look at his years at LSU, VCU, McNeese, doesn't really matter where. Coach really likes the long athletes that can make plays on both sides of the ball. And specifically for myself, defensively, for a guy like Paul or even for Matt, to have their size and length, in passing lanes, in our press defense, and give them the freedom to make plays on the ball and be aggressive defensively, I think it's something that excites me. I know for Paul, just kind of getting the bearings of the defense. We met yesterday, we watched some film, some different areas. We play a very unique style of play, but for him, he's able to see, especially when we showed it on film, hey, look, if you're in this spot, you can be way more aggressive and use that size and length to your advantage, and you really don't have any area that can hurt you. It's more so really amplifying his strengths. And then obviously for Matt Abel, I mean, he is as good as I've seen as a shooter, and his IQ and his feel. And the biggest thing, I think this is a huge separator when it comes to that top tier talent, is his mindset. His first few weeks here, something that's been really exciting for us as a staff, and not even for the staff, but also as players, because he kind of tests guys. Everyone's kind of new, even though we brought Claudier and Allen with us. They're still kind of get a feel for each other and their teammates, and when you have a freshman come in, he's kind of the the young one, and the baby, and the guys, the older guys would try to put him in his place a little bit, and to see Matt compete and go right back at him, and show that toughness and that resilience, and kind of give it back to him as well. It's been really exciting, and I think the special players are the ones that don't back down from confrontation and meet that challenge head on.
What is it about Will Wade?
Have never been hired for this program in a long time. Do you relish relish the fact that you hear the talk of what the expectations are out for this program?
To be honest, and Coach, you'll hear a ton from him. No one has higher expectations than ourselves. We really don't listen to the outside noise. It's funny because people ask us about recruiting in the league or conference, and I know I've spoken to numerous people about it. I couldn't tell you who a single school has gotten, what they're doing, their practices, et cetera, et cetera. We just focus on our process and what we do every day, and try to just try to get our guys as good as they can be on the court, off the court, and I can promise you this: there's no staff in the country that's exhausting themselves more than us and pouring more into our players and our program than our staff, and that's our only focus. We're very, very much process oriented. All that other stuff, whether it be the pros or the postseason play or championship rings, banners, all that stuff, it all comes from the process and the formula that we put forth.
What is it about Will Wade that's kept you wanting to be on his staff all these years? I mean, going back to VCU and LSU, and now with McNeese and now NC State.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the first assistant coach that I met, first coach I ever met outside of Shaka Smart when I was a student manager. And the one thing I'll say is he cares about people. He finds, and especially in college basketball, people get wrote off or they can do this as a player, but they can't do that. And what Coach Wade is very, very good at is he's elite at finding that quality or trait or finding the good in a person and really, really amplifying that and making that kind of their strength to their core. And he's just an unbelievable person. It's funny working for him throughout all these years and knowing him on a personal level. People call me all the time, like, "Hey, how's it working for Will Wade? And what's his day-to-day like?" And there's really no secret sauce. There's not. He's just as consistent of a human being as I've ever seen. And I've mentioned this before. My only strength as a coach is my work ethic, and I really mean that. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I didn't go play at a blue blood. I was a student manager, and I got really lucky, and I just tried to work harder than other people. And I say that with all due respect to other coaches. This has just been my strength. Coach Wade makes me look like the JV team. I mean, he works so hard. Like, if there is any negative to working for Coach Wade, he needs a hobby. Like, he needs other things to do. Like, I know he spends time with his daughter and his wife, and it's awesome to be basketball all the time, every day. But I mean, he just cares about his guys, and he pours into them every day. And there's no focus outside of that. It's a very, very narrow focus. He doesn't, his blinders are on. He doesn't take them off, and that's really the only thing he cares about.
What have you seen from some of the guys meshing off the court? Obviously, everybody's getting to know each other, but what have you seen as far as that goes so far?
It's been great. Our schedule set up every week is very different. It's not, just everyday practice. We do, different things every day. We have individual development. We have Tuesdays and Thursdays, they play pickup. We have vitamins in the morning, which is kind of parts of the offense, style of play, adding components. We do breakdown. We do defensive practices on Wednesdays, team practices Fridays, obviously the road games. Team Tuesday, leadership. We bring people in. We've brought in mental performance coaches. We've brought in different people to talk to the team and different activities. We went to Top Golf and played and got to see our guys' extravagant golf swings, which was funny. But and then today, I think we're supposed to go bowling or do something today. But it's been great. The one thing I'll say is we have a really, really good group of guys. Like, they have all of them, from Q and Allen as the new guys to Trey Holloman coming from Michigan State to Terrence Arsenault. You name it. The guys that are already here, Paul McNeil, guys that were already committed, or bringing in a freshman like Matt. They've all kind of blended their personalities and kind of gotten to know each other, and it's been. We have a lot of fun, and we have some high quality guys, and they are hilarious. They are hilarious. No, that's the one thing I think. Credit to Andrew Slater and Patrick Stacy. I think that they do a tremendous job in talent evaluation. Obviously, Coach Wade has had his formula for success with, what he likes, what he doesn't like. but we're able to put, in the transfer portal specifically, but we're also able kind of to adapt it with Stacy's formula that spews out players that would adapt and fit to our system. And then when they get here, or as we're going through the recruiting process, we have different personality tests and things that we do that coach has always kind of been attuned to, we've very rarely do we ever have a bad apple. And I say it all the time that coach is the easiest guy to play for. If you do right, if you do what you're supposed to do, he loves you. And the guys that don't make it, which very rarely happens throughout the course of his career, they just kind of weed themselves out.
I know the social media team recently released a video before and after you guys going through workouts, stuff like that. How have you all been able to kind of push those players to those limits, and those players respond when you're pushing to get ready for the season?
Yeah, going back to the road game aspect of it, it's been great. Building that kind of toughness, resilience on Fridays and those workouts, and again with Q and Allen knowing what to expect, and the level of work that they're going to go through on a Friday morning. They're able to kind of preach to those guys, number one, on Thursday after pickup, to make sure they hydrate, make sure they get their rest, and be ready to rock and roll early Friday. And it's funny, I saw those videos too, and they're all excited and giddy. It's like the first day of school vibes, and then afterwards they're just trying to figure out where they're at. It's meant to. We tell the guys all the time, and we'll probably bring in the Navy SEALs back this year. We did some training last year with our group. Coaches used them in the past, but it's supposed to suck, and it's your ability to embrace it and live in that space and come together and be tighter as a unit and do all the little things, play to your standards, react to your standards, that really creates a winning atmosphere. And so to see the guys afterwards feel that sense of relief and joy and accomplishment was cool to see. Although it was, they got dirty in the process. It was also fun as a coach to see that growth process.
As someone who's been in college basketball for a long time and seen how it's evolved, how important is that GM and assistant GM role for the development of a program and just your job itself?
I think it's just with the reshaping of college basketball and where things are going. I think it's critical. I would expect that in the next couple of years that every program in the country, whether you're low major, mid major, or high major, is going to have some sort of role that is similar to the general manager role. For us, I think coach has done an unbelievable job hiring, number one, Patrick Stacy as a numbers guy. He had his own analytic company that he operated for many years and had clients all over the country in college basketball, and to hire him and have him on our staff and formulate a spreadsheet that is specific to what we look for, and be able to predict, number one, a player's value on the court. It's called a GSAT stat, greatest stat of all time. Acronym. We call it the Wade stat. You got to plug it in and make sure it meets the Wade stat. And then also to have a guy like Andrew Slater as the general manager. I think if you're someone that wants to play at the professional level, and to have someone like Andrew Slater, who has evaluated at the highest level in basketball, being with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and seeing how they do it, seeing their evaluation process, their organization, which I think, you could argue, obviously, with where they're at in the NBA Finals, the number of MVPs they've had in the last 15 years. They're one of the best in the NBA. And then also his time spent as a high school AAU evaluator. He knows what it takes, and knows what pieces to look for, what qualities, what traits. Not just the tangible things that you can see, like the size, length, athleticism, but Slater does a really good job at getting to know the family, getting to know the pieces behind the player, and what personalities and what intangibles also mesh with becoming a pro prospect. And so I think as a coaching staff to have that as a barometer. Both those pieces, Andrew Slater and Patrick Stacey, I think it gives you a lot of confidence as a coach that you're going to get high-level players and high-level talent, which they've done an unbelievable job of, obviously, this summer and in this offseason. And then moving forward, that they're going to have a chance to play professionally and play at the next level.